Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Magruder, curator for global events at National Geographic, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this Explorer Trivia Night. So National Geographic has been presenting events in Washington, D.C. since its founding in 1888, soon after the first of 1 month after we were founded, we presented the first event. And I've had the honor of welcoming audiences to events at our headquarters in Washington, D.C., and at venues around the country since 1989. We've done Explorer Trivia Nights for a few years now, and these events with the National Geographic twist are extremely popular. I say that in addition to watching political debates and sports, trivia nights are probably one of the most popular activities of DC residents to do in a group. Now, this is our very first virtual trivia night, and it looks like we've got more than 1,700 people signed in to join us from around the world. National Geographic is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to use the power of science, exploration, education, and storytelling to illuminate and protect the wonder of the world. We do this by offering grant opportunities to explorers who reflect the fullest diversity of the world, kind of like the two people you'll meet shortly, Amy Vitale and Rue Mapp. And thanks to generous support from people like you, we're able to elevate the work of these explorers. So you should know that your donation to the Society allows us to continue to support their programs of the programs of these explorers around the world. And you can donate and help change the world by visiting natgeo.org. Now, one group here in Washington, D.C. that's changing the world one trivia night at a time is our partner for this event, District Trivia. Our host this evening is Lindsay Maychek, who's been the Director of Operations for District Trivia for the past 5 years. In pre-pandemic times, District Trivia operated more than 100 weekly live events in the D.C. metro region. Now they've gone virtual, giving Lindsay and National Geographic a chance to meet and host trivia players around the globe. Lindsay, when she's not doing district trivia, she has another trivia event that she does. It's a podcast called We Don't Know Either. This is a guess-along show. So let's take this show tonight on the road with Amy, Rue, and the queen of trivia in Washington, D.C., Lindsay Maychek.
Thanks, Greg. I didn't write that last part or any really of that intro, but I appreciate the queen of trivia title nonetheless, so thank you. I'm really excited to be here. Everybody that's playing at home, all you need is a pen and a paper, just a pen and a paper. That is all you need to play. So if you don't have that, you need to grab one. Pencil will work as well, but you need to be able to write down your answers. Also, if you're playing and you have housemates around, roommates, parents, siblings, spouses, now's the time to size them up and look and say, do I want to play against them or with them? So decide if you're going to play with or against the folks that are in your house at this moment. We have 3 rules to play trivia tonight, 3 rules. Number 1, don't shout out the answers. Don't shout out the answers. For you guys playing virtually, that means don't post your answers in the chat. That is a bad strategy to tell everybody what the answer is. So please just write that down on the paper. Don't shout out your answers. Rule number 2, don't cheat. Don't Google. Don't be on your phones. Don't go get the encyclopedia or the Nat Geo magazine off the shelf. We want to know what you know, not what you can look up. And then rule number 3, the most important rule of the day, it is my game, my rules. So that means Rue and Amy are going to have to be very nice to me because I ultimately decide what counts as points. And I, of course, wrote the questions. So now we know the rules, we know how to play, we know what we need to play. It is time to welcome in our first trivia player, Amy. She's a National Geographic Explorer, and that is a title that she has earned. She's traveled to nearly 100 countries. With her lens, Amy captures stories of people, wildlife, and how they connect. She uses those images and videos as a tool to create awareness and understanding across cultures and communities. Amy, welcome in. Are you more or less excited to be here at trivia night than some of the places that you've traveled?
I'm actually strangely more nervous here than I am in more remote places. I'm more comfortable out there in the wild. Yeah.
Well, the nice thing though is we can't see everybody watching, and we don't have to think that everyone is trying to beat your score. We just know that, but we don't have to think about it.
Yeah. No, it's all
So
good fun.
So you have your pen and your paper ready to go, right? You're good.
Yep.
Okay, so all these questions are related to Amy in some way, shape, or form. Some of them might seem a little bit random to start, but I promise you, once we reveal the answers, it will all come together and make sense. So Amy, you're gonna write down your answers as I go through the questions, and then you'll reveal your answers at the end. So everybody get ready. It's time to ask question number one. So question number one, worth 1 point. What is the minimum amount of wheels on a traditional rickshaw? So what is the minimum amount of wheels on a traditional rickshaw? Amy's like, I know this one. And she's going quick, which is good because it is a 1-pointer. So it is the easiest question of the day. So number one, what is the minimum amount of wheels on a traditional rickshaw? Question number two, the bite of which insect transmits the malaria-causing parasite to humans? So the bite of which insect transmits the malaria-causing parasite to humans? Question number two. Also something Amy seems very confident. It's a 2-pointer.
Very familiar with that one. Yes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I know what you're going to ask me about when we get to that question. Question number three. This is an either or. So pick one of the options that I give you, either or. Question number three. Which Dave Matthews Band song reached higher on the Billboard Hot 100 charts? What would you say or crash into me? So you have two choices here. What would you say or crash into me? Which song peaked higher on the Billboard Hot 100 charts? So which one?
Got it.
Crushing it so far. They're getting harder as we go. So I'm luring you into a false sense of confidence. Everybody at home is like, yes, they're along with Amy, but they're going to keep getting harder and harder here. So question number four, which gymnastics move do male pandas utilize to ensure their urine lands on a place that can reach a fertile female panda's nose height? So they use a specific gymnastics move that I've seen all the gymnasts that I've ever known knows this one. So which gymnastics move do they use? Question number five. By square feet, Yellowstone National Park is larger than which two US states combined? So by square feet, Yellowstone National Park is larger than which two US states combined? Amy actually is about 20 miles outside of Yellowstone right now.
Exactly. This is so sad. So I have to give the amount of square feet and the two states?
No, you don't have to give the amount of square feet. No. Just the two states combined. So the two states combined, Yellowstone National Park is larger than which two of these states? If you took the square footage of those two states, Yellowstone is still a greater area than those two. So I want the name of those two states.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about this.
Yeah, so the two states combined, the Yellowstone National Park is larger than. Question number six. Which protein comprises a rhino's horn? So question number 6, what protein comprises a rhino's horn? Question number 6. Okay. Feeling more confident about that one than the states one. That is worth 6 points. We're in the harder half now of the round. So everybody's warming up. Question number 7. One of the first women photographers published in National Geographic, Eliza Sidmore, was instrumental in bringing which type of trees to DC? So Eliza Sidmore was instrumental in bringing what type of trees to Washington, DC? She was one of the first women photographers published in National Geographic magazine. And this probably is an easy question for those of us that are in Washington, DC and the surrounding areas. For those of you outside of the area, maybe a little tougher, but take your 7 points if it was easy, right? Question number 8 is going to feel a little out of left field, but Amy, when I say this, I think you're going to know exactly the story that this question leads to. But question number 8, In which country was the first tank produced? So question number 8, in which country was the first tank produced?
Tank, what kind of tank? Military tank or just other tank?
Yeah, military tank. Yeah. So this was specifically 1915. I'll give you that hint. 1915, because you were nice to me, so I'm giving you hints.
Thank you.
1915, Little Willie was the name of this tank. So in which country was the first tank produced? 8 points. So now we're in the tough questions here. Question number 9. August 18th of this year will mark which anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment? So question number 9, August 18th of 2020, this year, will mark which anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment? Worth 9 points. That's why you got to know what the 19th Amendment is, when it was ratified. Putting you on the spot here with a 9-pointer. Question number 10, titled Me at the Zoo. What type of animal is seen in the background of the first video ever uploaded to YouTube? So titled Me at the Zoo, what type of animal is seen in the background of the first video ever uploaded to YouTube? This is the first video. It was uploaded in 2005, shot at a zoo. And Amy, do you want a hint?
Yeah, please.
Okay. You have taken photographs of this animal.
Okay.
Is that helpful? Because you've taken pictures of a lot of animals, so I don't know if that was a really great hint or not.
I know. Okay. All right.
I promised a hint. I didn't say if it was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Now, questions 1 through 10, Amy, everybody at home, you can guess at these, right? So if you get a question wrong, it doesn't matter. No big deal whatsoever. However, this last question, the 11th question, is our wager. It's our bonus. So this is where you can risk points. If you get it right, you earn those points. And if you get it wrong, we take those points away. But the good news, I'm going to ask the question first, so you'll be able to decide how confident you are in your answer. Amy, wager question makes sense? Feeling good? She's concentrating probably on that states question.
No, I actually crossed out and redid another. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going to trust my gut. I want to know which question when we get to the answers that you changed your mind on, and we'll see.
Okay. So now I have to wager the amount?
0 to 10 points. 0 to 10 points. So, but I'm going to ask the question first, and then you can decide how confident you are. So within 1, so you have a range. So within 1, how many pounds did the first digital camera weigh? So within 1, how many pounds did the first digital camera weigh?
How much range do I have?
1 pound on either side. You're thinking, you're like, should I go get one of my cameras? So that probably won't help you.
No, I remember they were really like monsters, but I can't remember the actual. It's like a Kodak thing that they did. Okay.
So you got to write down 0 to 10 points and just circle that next to your answer. So whatever pound amount that you're putting there.
I don't know if you're going to read my answers so well. I have really bad handwriting.
No, it's okay. You just have to read your handwriting. You're going to say the answers out loud to everybody. So everybody is going to know whether you got them correct or not. So look over your answers. Are they finalized? You feeling good?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm feeling good, but we can definitely, let's go for this.
All right, let's find out. So question number 1, what is the minimum amount of wheels on a traditional rickshaw? Amy, what's the answer? 2, yes, 2 wheels on a traditional rickshaw. So if you got that correct, you have 1 point. Amy, not shut out. So you got that point. And obviously I'm asking, you know why I'm asking, folks at home don't know why I'm asking, but you've talked a lot about in your photography that access is everything. And your rickshaw story was a really perfect example that you were really nervous getting into it. And then you got the story. So how did you gain access for something that was so important?
Well, I realized it was interesting because I had this idea that I wanted to do, and it turned out that the rickshaw pullers had no interest in having me photograph them. And I did relationships. The best photography is really about the relationships we build with people. And so I went and I did a ton of research, and I knew that they had a union, much like we have auto unions. And I went to the head of the rickshaw union, whose name was Subir, and Subir started to connect me. I explained why I was there, what I was doing, and he then introduced me to people and opened up all the doors. So yeah.
Access is everything in photography, but this next question, sometimes access isn't necessarily the best thing. So number 2, the bite of which insect transmits the malaria-causing parasite to humans? Hey, what's your answer? Yes, mosquitoes. So that is worth 2 points. So those at home, that's 1 plus 2. You would have 3 total points if you were batting 1,000 so far. So yeah, Amy, photography kind of has its risk, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And I would say, it's more, honestly, it's like not, I don't mind being in discomfort for, think discomfort is temporary, and it's important to remember that. And frankly, the best stories, you have to dive in a little bit and get a little uncomfortable, and it's always so magical, particularly in nature. Like, it's so great to get out, and just a little bit of suffering creates it just creates these magical moments. So that's how I feel.
I feel like that's definitely a theme as we get through some of these questions, that a little bit of suffering leads to some magic places
Yeah.
for you based on the experiences that you've had. So question number 3, which Dave Matthews Band song reached higher on the Billboard Hot 100 charts? What would you say? Or Crash Into Me? What's your answer?
Crash into me.
Ooh, Amy, it's
Wrong.
your first
Oh,
correct. That is what I guessed as well. But Crash Into Me peaked at number 18, and I feel like that's the song that most everyone knows
yeah.
more so. But what would you say peaked?
So
Peaked
sorry.
at number 9. So what would you say peaked at number 9? That's the correct answer. That is worth 3 points. But Amy, you're friends with Dave Matthews and have worked together in Elephant Sanctuary in Kenya. How does his celebrity and how does working with people that can use their platform and celebrity really benefit these animals?
Well, he's an extraordinary human being, and he just, I think, it was amazing. I met him in the middle of the Standing Rock protest, and told him about this sanctuary, and he brought his whole family and allowed me to make a film of him, and then did a fundraiser with me to and Prizio, and raised a lot of money so the sanctuary could run for another year, because it turns out elephants need a lot of money to raise the orphans. But no, I think that's an amazing thing to realize that well, we can all be voices, and it's how we choose to use whatever we have to. I'm rambling on here, but no, he's amazing, and I'm so grateful to him and his family.
That's a really important message, though, whether celebrities or just at home, anybody can make a difference. And that is huge. And that's what you do through your storytelling. So absolutely not rambling, all very important points. But we have to move on to question number 4. So which gymnastics move do male pandas utilize to ensure their urine lands on a place that can reach a fertile female panda's nose height? You were like,
Handstand.
I know all this. Yes, it is a handstand, 100%. That question, I felt like you were very confident. So that is 4 points. Remember, everyone, the question number equals the point value. So 4 points for Amy there, a handstand. And you've seen this up close and very, very, very personally. Yes?
I have, and smelled it up close.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about access. I really want to hear more about you wearing this panda suit.
Scented with urine and feces.
For those
Because
of us that haven't smelled panda urine, how would you describe that?
I would say, honestly, they're vegetarian primarily, and so it's not that bad.
Not that bad. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's something I ever will have the chance to do, but who knows? So how did this idea come about that you said, okay, cover me in what needs to be done? How did that idea happen? And
Well,
you obviously got the shots.
Yeah, it was actually the idea of a man affectionately called Papa Panda, Jiang Hemin, and he wanted, what happens is pandas that are born in captivity, literally after one generation in captivity, forget how to be wild. They have to be trained to be wild. And they have to go through all this series of tests, like, do they know how to pick the leeches off? Do they know how to find the best bamboo? The most important test is, do they know how to run away from predators and who their predators are. And I think the biggest predator for so many species is us, mankind. And he realized that these pandas should never feel comfortable around human beings. So the human caretakers, they're actually the ones that get sent back to the wild. There's very little contact, but any contact, they should dress up in the panda costumes, but they go by their nose more than their eyes. So the scent is so important. That's why he scented these costumes. And I had the privilege of working on this story, and I felt like I was inside a Wes Anderson film every day. I mean, can you imagine waking up and everybody you're looking at, and like the guys smoking the cigarettes, these panda costumes on? I was like, it was the best. Yeah, it was a great story.
Did you start dreaming in pandas?
Well, I literally read so much. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that. I read everything you could read about pandas, that like I literally felt like I started to think like a panda bear. It was just
That's how
spent
they
all
say you're
day
fluent in a
watching.
language. That's how you say you're fluent in a
I
language.
did list that on like those resumes, and I speak panda. Yeah.
Question number 5, though, now, Amy, we're delaying because this is the one you
I'm
were
not
nervous
gonna
about.
say it.
Question number
And
5, by square feet, Yellowstone National Park is larger than which 2 US states combined? What did you have as your answer?
I mean, I'm for sure will not get this, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. Oh, I don't know, like Alabama, Mississippi. I don't know.
Nope. That's incorrect, but no problem. It's a little bit of a tricky one. Delaware and Rhode Island have
Oh, of
combined
course,
square
those would be the
footage.
smallest ones.
Now you
Sorry.
you are doing the thing that every trivia player does at some point, which is like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? So
No, how did I miss that? Yeah.
you're not the only
Right.
one. So Delaware and Rhode Island, 5 points if you got those 2 correct. So number 6, this one you were confident in. What protein comprises a rhino's horn?
Keratin, it's just what's in our fingernails and hair.
Yeah, exactly. Keratin. So keratin is worth 6 points if you got that one correct. And I want to talk to you now about your photograph of the last male northern white rhino, because this is a tragic thing that you covered and a beautiful photograph and story that came out of this. And as tragic as it was, you still described it as it providing some hope. So can you give the folks at home just a little bit of an insight as to how significant this photograph and this moment was?
Yeah, this was actually the last male northern white rhino. There's still 2 females named Najin and Fatu. And it was, I think, if you want to put the photo up there, it really, to me, represents the best and worst of humanity. And that, this is Jojo comforting Sudan moments before he passed away. And it was the most heartbreaking and profound moment of my life, because it's literally like witnessing extinction right there. It's in our hands. And I feel like Jojo represents the best of humanity, that we can choose the way forward, what we want, our lives and the lives of future generations, right? And then we also have the capacity to be the biggest destroyers. And right now, I feel like this pandemic is such a powerful reminder of, nature is sending us a strong message right now. And I feel like this is our greatest opportunity. We're never going to get an opportunity like this again to figure out. Sorry, I'm just like preaching here, but like we need to prioritize and understand that saving nature is saving ourselves. And that, this pandemic is happening because the viruses are jumping from wild animals into humans. And I think like this is our big wake up call. And I felt like when Sudan passed away, that was one wake up call that, I was so grateful that National Geographic put it on the cover of the magazine, and it did, have this impact. But I think now, like, this is our moment to decide what our future looks like.
Absolutely. So question number 7, it's hard to segue from moments. Well, actually here, I'm going to give it a good go here. So moments of impact into another person that was impactful. One of the first women photographers published in National Geographic, Eliza Sidmore. She was instrumental into bringing what types of trees to DC? What was your answer?
I would guess cherry blossoms.
Yes, cherry blossoms is correct. That's 7 points. 7 points if you had cherry blossoms there. 7 points. Amy, I have to ask, who has influenced you throughout your career? Like, who's kind of been someone that's really been motivating for you?
When I'm losing. Oh, it's honestly the people that don't get a lot of recognition that I have the privilege of meeting on the front lines, making great change in their own communities. They're the ones that give me so much inspiration. And I, of course, admire people like Jane Goodall, Sylvia Earle, all these like trailblazers. But I get to meet the unsung heroes, and they move me every day. Yeah.
That's great. Question. Well, it's great that they're moving you and also hopefully got 7 points as well at home. That's the fun thing when we do these trivia events is like the juxtaposition of these like really serious,
Yeah, I
powerful
know.
moments.
Sorry, I'm always like, oh.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's just, this is what it's all about, fun. But it's hard for me as the host to be like, this is really powerful. Now we got to go back into this questions for the points. But question number 8, in which country was the first tank produced? Amy, what was your answer?
I'm really conflicted on this one. And one thing I was wondering is if it might have been the Tamil Tigers in Sri Lanka, because they created the submarine, they created the suicide vests, like they created a lot of amazing, not in a good way, but just weapons of terror were through the innovation of the Tamil Tigers. But I'm really torn between Sri Lanka and perhaps India.
Well, I can tell you that both of those are incorrect. Your logic was sound. Your logic was very sound, but it is England is the correct answer. So number 8, England. Yeah, big in World War One. That's when tank warfare happened. But 1915, Little Willie, it was reached speeds of only 2 miles an hour, not going very fast. But when we talked previously, you told me about how you rode on top of a Soviet tank for 6 hours. I think it went a little bit faster than 2 miles an hour. But like, how uncomfortable was that?
Oh, well, it was mostly the mosquitoes that were uncomfortable because the tank actually got stuck. And we were driving through the marshes of Kamchatka in the far east of Russia, and the tank stopped. And they were as large as helicopters, and it was pretty intense just being there in the stillness with all the mosquitoes. Like you could hear them landing on your head. Yeah.
A little suffering leads to magical things. Like I said, that is kind of the theme here. It takes a lot to be a National Geographic explorer and photojournalist, no doubt. Question number 9 now. Question number 9. August 18th of this year will mark which anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment? Amy, what's your answer?
I think it's the right for women to vote.
It is the right for women to vote. How long ago was that passed?
100 years ago.
You got it. Nail on the head. So 9 points for Amy, 9 points if you had 100 years. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote, and that was passed in 1920. So 100th anniversary of that coming up here in just a month or so. So question number 10 now, titled Me at the Zoo. What type of animal is seen in the background of the first video ever uploaded to YouTube? First ever video, 2005. Amy, what's that animal that was in the background of the first YouTube video?
I know this was a big news story, and I think, was it a lion? Or
Not
panda?
A lion. Nope, it was an elephant. So elephant.
Oh God, how could I miss that? Oh gosh, again. All right.
No,
I saw it too. Yeah.
No worries at all. That's the 10-pointer. That's the tough question of the round. No worries at all. We have to go to our wager question now, though. So you had within one. How many pounds did the first digital camera weigh? Before you say your answer, how many points did you wager?
I'm giving it 1 point.
1 point. Okay, so she's not feeling very confident. So Amy, how many pounds did that first digital camera weigh?
18.
18, okay. That's a little bit more than what it was. It was 8 pounds.
Okay.
So like you only lost 1 point. So your final score for the round is 28, very solid, 28 points. How much do your cameras weigh now that you're using out in the field?
Oh, good question. I mean, with the lenses, they're pretty weighty. I'm wondering if mine's floating around here. Yeah, it's with the big long lenses, it can, you can get up to I don't know, probably the same amount, probably 18 pounds with a big, huge lens.
And I'm going to guess that they shoot in pretty high quality and a lot of megapixels. This first digital camera was only 0.01. It wasn't even like 1 full megapixel.
I remember the files. I know, crazy.
Well, Amy, you have 28 points, which is a solid score. So if you had more than 28 points, congratulations. Amy and I are going to give you virtual high fives now. Well done. Amy, thank you so much for playing trivia. Hopefully it wasn't as painful as you thought it was going to be. But before we go, what's next for you? Tell everybody about your fundraiser for the Elephant Sanctuary.
Oh, thank you. I haven't launched it yet, but stay tuned. If you follow me on Instagram, which is just my name, AMIVITALE, I am going to be announcing another fundraiser where you could win a chance with you and a guest to come to Kenya with me. And we're going to be supporting, just great conservation work on some of those projects you may know already. But I'll announce it soon in the next few weeks. And then I am about to head out. I'm in, right outside Yellowstone. I'll try to give a little glimpse. I don't know if you can see it, but heading out to go and do some work now. Thank you all. It's been, and it's just been so fun. Thank you.
Great, Amy. Thank you so much again for being such a good sport. I'd say give it up. Everybody will clap for you at home. But stick around. Rue Mapp is coming up after the break. So everybody get ready for another fun round of trivia. Don't miss it. And thanks again, Amy.
Thank you. And bye, Rue. Okay, bye, everybody. Cheers.
I've done what I wanted to do from early childhood. But the work has not yet ended. This is just the beginning.
Our ecosystem was under threat, and so I decided then I'm going to do something about it.
The challenge is to be yourself. Forget about what others tell you and just go do it.
Women in our society face limitations in education. My goal is to change that.
Fear of taking risks, fear of failure. That's the biggest thing that stops girls from getting into this field.
There were some who tried to discredit my observations because I was a young, untrained girl.
I get to decide what I can and cannot do. We're pushing the boundaries for future generations.
For us to be down there together as 3 strong women achieving what we set out to do, it's not something I'll soon forget.
It's important to recognize the women that have paved the way for us today.
When students see people that look like them, it gives them that motivation that they need in order to say, you know what, I can go ahead and do this too.
When you educate a girl, you educate the world.
We cannot get to the best possible exploration if we don't have the totality of people in the room to contribute to the conversation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are District Trivia, and we have another round of great fun. So get ready, because our next trivia player is someone who inspires anyone and everyone to enjoy nature all around them. Rue Mapp is a National Geographic Education Fellow and the founder and CEO of Outdoor Afro. Outdoor Afro's mission is to reconnect Black people to natural spaces via outdoor recreational activities. Her multimedia approach with the organization has built a strong community across the country. So everyone, please join me in saying hello and welcoming Rue Mapp. Rue, are you excited? You ready to go?
I am so excited. Thank you so much for having me. This is a total blast.
Did you learn anything from the first round of trivia? Are you going to adjust your strategy at all?
Yeah. I think, I should be a little bit less risk averse for my wager, because that would have made the difference, because I got more right than I realized.
Yes, good. And these questions are all about you now too. So score should be even higher. And you said that you're a big competitor, and when we brought up this idea of doing virtual trivia with you, you were like, game on, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's being said, Lynn, let's go. So you got your pen and paper ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Everybody at home, pen and paper. The scores will reset now after this round. Reminder of our 3 rules. Don't shut out. Don't put those answers in the chat. Don't cheat. Don't look up anything. And then, of course, number 3, Rue's already got it. She's got to be nice to me. So question number 1, Rue, here we go. Write it down. Number 1, true or false? By helping to stimulate the production of serotonin, fresh air can make a person happier. True or false? By helping to stimulate, my goodness, the production of serotonin, fresh air can make a person happier. That's the true or false question. Does fresh air make a person happier? True or false? Don't overthink it. It is a 1-pointer. Question number two. In business terms, what type of organization is an NPO? So in business terms, what type of organization is an NPO? You're a good actress, I think, because you're trying to make us think you don't know, but you know it. You're like, I got it. I got this. So that was one is worth 2 points. This next one is 3-pointer. So on average, which weighs more, a male or female grizzly bear? So that's your either or question. Number 3, which weighs more, a male or female grizzly bear? You also are smiling too, because you know what story I'm going to ask about. That's a little teaser for folks at home. It's like, oh man, we're going to ask about Rue and a bear here coming up soon.
Yeah.
Question number 4. According to Swimming World magazine, which swimming stroke is considered to be the oldest? So according to Swimming World magazine, which swimming stroke is considered to be the oldest? They're getting harder now. That was a 4-pointer.
I know, I'm trying to stay smiling. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the sweat starts to happen, but that's okay because we're on question number 5. Who was the first woman to be ranked the #1 most powerful person in show business by Entertainment Weekly? So question number 5, who is the first woman to be ranked #1 most powerful person in show business by Entertainment Weekly? Do you want a hint, Rue, or are you confident?
Oh, I think I got that one.
Oh, okay. No hint for you. Should we give people a hint at home? What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So here's your hint. This person was ranked the #1 most powerful person in show business in 1998. So I don't know if that year gives you a hint, but 1998. You can thank Rue for being nice and giving you a hint because I wasn't going to. Question number 6. The first known Black woman to reach both the North and South Pole, Barbara Hillary, confessed she ate too much of what sweet treat while exploring the South Pole? So Barbara Hillary confessed that she ate too much of what sweet treat. So I'm looking for the name of a candy, but like the generic brand of it. So she confessed that she ate way too much of this while she was exploring the South Pole.
Rest her soul. She just passed away in the last year.
Yeah. Question number 7. While guiding escaped enslaved people north, which constellation did Harriet Tubman use to find the North Star? So question number 7, while guiding escaped enslaved people north, which constellation did Harriet Tubman use to find the North Star? And this is a rare moment for district trivia because normally all of our questions have just one answer, but this particular constellation has 2 answers. So we're going to accept either or. So a rare moment. Question number 8. It's not really trivia without asking, I think, a movie question. So this one is just a movie that you and I talked about that we both like. So question number 8. In the film Coming to America, which Oscar-winning actor made his feature film debut as Boy Getting Haircut? So question number 8.
Oh, God.
That's the reaction I live for, Rue. That's the reaction I live for. You told me this is one of your favorite movies, and I said, oh, I'm going to stump her with this 8-pointer.
Oh, God. This is great. I love that movie. Like, I love that movie. Okay.
So Which Oscar-winning actor made his feature film debut as Boy Getting Hair? That's number 8. Question number 9. In what year was Twitter launched in the US? So in what year was Twitter launched in the US? Number 9. Remember, write it down. Don't shout out your answer.
Twitter launched in the US. Okay.
Yep. And it was launched in the US first. So it's not like it launched anywhere else first, but I just like to clarify just in case anybody has that follow-up question. But it was in what year was Twitter launched in the US?
Would you like give us points, or if we were like within 1 year?
Ooh, I feel like you're really confident the rest of these answers, so I got to be strict. I got to say, you got to give me exact. I appreciate the effort, however.
Okay. Okay.
If you weren't so confident in the early ones, maybe, but everyone will think I share the answers with you in advance if you do too well. You know, I got to protect myself. But question number 10, by square acreage, which U.S. national park is the largest in the continental U.S.? So this is your 10-pointer, toughest of the round. By square acreage, which U.S. national park is the largest in the continental U.S.?
In the continental U.S., like that means the lower 48, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. So not, because Alaska has, I think, a lot of the top 10. Lots of space up there.
It's going to always win on size.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a tough one. That's a 10-pointer.
Okay.
And now your wager question. So 0 to 10, you said that you're a little risk averse before. You might change it, but you haven't heard the question yet. So remember, everybody at home, you're going to write 0 to 10. That's the amount that you wager. So just circle that next to your answer. If you get it right, we give you those points. And if you get it wrong, we're taking those points away. So wager wisely here on our last question. Within 50 feet, so Rue, you have a range within 50 feet, how tall is Hyperion, the world's tallest known living tree? Her jaw dropped a little bit when I finished reading that, that question. She's like, so within 50 feet, how tall is Hyperion, the world's tallest known living tree? You've been to the redwood forest many a time, so I'll give you a hint. It is currently in the Redwood National and State Parks. So that is my hint to you. You're like trying to picture and like look up. Cool. So Rue, are you locked in? Do you finalize? Are your answers finalized and good to go?
So I think so. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to embarrass myself, but you know, it's just me and like 1,200 of my friends. So
exactly. Everybody's playing along. And since we can't see anybody and we don't know their scores, we can just assume that they're less than yours, but we'll still give some virtual high fives probably. But we got a score now. Okay. So question number 1, true or false? Fresh air can make a person happier. Is that true or false, Rue?
It's true. And we need nature now more than ever. And I just, you know, want to remind people, like, even if you can't get out into a park, you know, just, you know, getting outside of your front door, you know, opening up your windows, you know, nature is everywhere. But yeah, absolutely. It's true.
Oh yeah, it absolutely makes people happier. It's science. It contributes to well-being and happiness. More fresh air is more oxygen and an increase in serotonin. There's you being happy outside. So what more evidence do you need than that picture, obviously?
Right.
Question number 2, this is worth 2 points. Question number 2, in business terms, what type of organization is an NPO?
Non-profit organization.
You got it. That's worth 2 points. So your total is 3 now. That is, of course, what Outdoor Afro is. And just in a way, how many people do you guys reach? Because I think that that's really an important part of what Outdoor Afro's mission is, that you are across the country, but how many people do you really reach in a week, in a day?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're in conversation digitally with about 100,000 people a day across all of our digital platforms. And then our participation network, the people who choose to get outside with us, has now reached 40,000 people across 30 states. And we make that happen through this amazing leadership program. And a lot of them are watching right now. And they're men and women from all kinds of professional backgrounds who like me, came into this industry without a whole big background in formal education per se, but all have this fire in their belly to connect people to nature. And they've been doing an amazing job getting people to camp and hike and bike and bird and fall in love over and over again with the outdoors.
And like we learned in question 1, outdoors equals happy people. So that's perfect. Hello to everybody at home and the Outdoor Afro team that's watching. So question number 3, oh yeah, there we are. Perfect. Question number 3 now. On average, which weighs more, a male or female grizzly? Rue, what'd you have?
Female.
No, that is incorrect. No, it is the male. They weigh up to 800 pounds and females only weigh up to 400 pounds. Do you know the bear that you got close to, whether or not it was a male or female based on that?
I think, well, you know what? It could have been a female in that case. We had a bear encounter in the Arctic Refuge. It was a Arctic grizzly, which was a bit smaller, more compact. And, it was definitely bigger than me.
Was there ever a moment when you saw that bear get so close to your camp that you were nervous, or were you just kind of like, I'm in their house, I'll just, how did you
I think when you encounter wildlife like that in their habitat, you realize you are in their home, and it was a nice reset of my humanity that really let me know that, okay, I'm not at the top of the food chain, and that this wild needs us to protect spaces where this creature can roam free and protected. So I just feel like whenever I'm in wildlife and I encounter wild animals, no matter big or small, it really helps me to appreciate my role in tending to and supporting the balance for all living creatures.
Absolutely. And now it's a perfect segue into question number 4, continuing the outdoors. This one, though, is a little bit more water focused. According to Swimming World magazine, which swimming stroke is considered to be the oldest? Rue, what did you have?
I had backstroke.
Ooh, that is a good guess, but it's the breaststroke. It is the breaststroke. It's a good guess, but still wrong. So no points, unfortunately. So right now you have 3 total points. I don't know if you're frozen, if you're still there with me. Let's see. Give it a second here. Technology and virtual, always fun. We'll give Rue a second to come back. But 4 points if you had breaststroke. Outdoor Afro actually launched a Learn to Swim program recently. So make sure you check that out. They want to make sure that everybody has access to all of the nature. And by providing people to swim, they can kayak, they can raft, and that is super important, which Rue obviously would talk at length about if she's here, but we will wait till she comes back. The problem is I don't have her answers, so I can't tell you if she's correct or not. But I will give you guys the answers at home, and then Rue and I will go back and we will highlight the ones that she has correct, and of course our conversation talking points. So question number 5, the first woman to be ranked #1 most powerful person in show business by Entertainment Weekly, that was Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey in 1998, Oprah Winfrey. And Rue got to meet Oprah. Outdoor Afro was highlighted on her 2020 Vision Tour. So when Rue gets back, we'll of course ask her about that. Question number 6. This is worth 6 points. So remember, everybody at home, you should be adding up the numbers as you go. So adding up the numbers as you go. Number 6, worth 6 points. The first known Black woman to reach both the North and South Pole, Barbara Hillary, confessed she ate too much of what sweet treat? I asked for the candy, not the brand name. And of course, she was eating this while she was exploring the South Pole. Coming back in. We'll give her a second. But the answer to number 6 is milk chocolate. But if you put chocolate, I will give you those points. So number 6, milk chocolate is your answer. She was 79 at the time that she explored the South Pole, and she ate a lot of milk chocolate, she said, and quote, "If I had frozen to death down there, wouldn't it be sad? I'd gone to hell without getting what I wanted." And I relate to you, Barbara. I relate to you because I also would need chocolate if I'm in the South Pole. Absolutely, 100%. Rue, we can hear your microphone, so just refresh the page if you can. We'll get you back in a second. Question number 7, I'll keep going through those answers. Oh, Rue, are you back?
Yeah, it looks like I'm back, kinda.
I can hear you, I can see you.
I missed the whole thing. Did I get like everything wrong? I don't know.
No, you just made me nervous. I was like, Rue, I didn't make these questions that hard. I know that you got question number 4 wrong, but that was not a reason to leave me, okay?
No, I was trying to get back. I was fighting to get back. So I'm glad to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're here. So question number 4, the answer was breaststroke. And I wanted specifically to bring up Outdoor Afro's Learn to Swim program and how one of your main missions is to make sure that access to nature shouldn't be reliant on just not knowing how to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bigger problem than that. According to the CDC, Black children are drowning at 5 times the rate of their white counterparts. And that is the heritage of Jim Crow, meaning, we have inherited this statistic because Black people were prohibited from being in public pools, public beaches. And so we have a whole generation and more that never learned. And I know that if a young person doesn't know how to swim, that they're never gonna put a pole in a lazy lake or ease into a tippy kayak. And they're absolutely not gonna care about plastic in the ocean. So it's really important that not only we learn to swim to save our own lives, but also our planet needs everyone to care and have a relationship with water.
Absolutely. So number 5 now, we're playing catch up. Number 5, the first woman to be ranked number 1 most powerful person in show business by Entertainment Weekly. What was your answer, Rue?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah, that is correct. You had the opportunity to meet her. She came along on a hike. How was that experience?
Oh, it was totally surreal. I mean, I just got a call from her team like days before the event, and I had to put together a hike. But what was so great about it is that I did a hike that was no different than anything that I do with Outdoor Afro. It was very authentic. It was very real. And she was very real. And she really understood the importance of trees and redwoods. And it just felt like she was in my living room. And I just had such a powerful, authentic experience with her. And there's going to be some more stuff coming up with her in the coming weeks that I'm looking forward to sharing with everyone too. So stay tuned.
You're teasing us a little bit. I won't ask anymore because I know that we got to wait, but that's really exciting. So question number 6 worth 6 points. The first known Black woman to reach both the North and South Pole, Barbara Hillary, confessed she ate too much of what sweet treat while exploring the South Pole. Rue, what was your answer?
My answer was Snickers.
Snickers. Okay, I am feeling generous, so I will allow it because the answer technically was milk chocolate. And Snickers has a lot of milk chocolate. But like I said, I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to give you those points. And if you had Snickers at home, you can also take those points. So 6 points, milk chocolate. She ate a lot of it on the South Pole. And when you're 79, exploring the South Pole, you get to eat whatever you want. Go for it, Barbara.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Question number 7. While guiding escaped enslaved people north, which constellation did Harriet Tubman use to find the North Star? Rue, what was your answer?
Drinking gourd.
The drinking gourd, absolutely. The drinking gourd is correct. We also would accept the Big Dipper, those drinking gourd or the Big Dipper, a rarity that we accept multiple answers, but we're going to do it. There you see, of course, the Big Dipper or the drinking gourd in the sky. And Rue, you've talked at length about how historical figures like Harriet Tubman had this connection to nature, and it was really vital for her success in helping to free these people. How can we, in general, and how did she really use nature to accomplish great things?
Well, I consider Harriet Tubman a true wilderness leader. And I say that because how else was she able to lead people who were enslaved to freedom in the cover of night without understanding the landscape? You know, she did not have a GPS. She had to rely on the stars, of course, as you mentioned, but she also knew, what to harvest and forage for food. She also understood, where it was safe for cover. And so by having that relationship and that nature knowledge, and in today's terms, I call it nature swagger, she was able to help people get free. And I think that is still available for us as Black people, as all people. What can we learn in nature that helps us live better and to unlock that sense of freedom that I think we all need now more than ever?
This is you just like put a bow so perfectly on the answer to that question. Like I said, I don't have a good segue because it's just like a perfect bow. And now we're going from that, just like with Amy, that profound moment into a silly trivia question. And that's what for me makes this event fun, is just how, back and forth roller coaster it is. So question number 8, you were laughing about this one. In the film Coming to America, which Oscar-winning actor made his film debut as Boy Getting Haircut? So what was your answer, Rue, for number 8?
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Perfect. 8 points to you. Well done. You like this movie. It's one of your favorites. So did you know that one immediately, or did you have to think about it?
No, I knew it right away, but I just saw the scene where he's like sitting there not saying anything. He's got like this Jerry curl wig on. And it's just a really funny scene. So if you're not a Coming to America fan, it's not too late to get started. It's lots of quotable quotes and silly moments.
And the sequel is coming up too. So you gotta watch it before the sequel comes out. Which
it's
really for this promotion. Question number 9 now. Question number 9 now. In the U.S.
In what year was Twitter launched in the U.S.?
Okay, that was tough for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess 2007.
Oh, Rue, you were so close. So close. It was 2006. You were 1 year off. Oh, I hate it when that happens, but as the trivia host, I don't have too much sympathy because I am trying to stump you. But 2007, that's what she wanted, the range, but you didn't get it. 2006 is the correct answer. So if you at home had that, that is 9 points to your total. I know, Rue, you began as a blog with Outdoor Afro, and then you really harnessed the power of social media to get that message out. How important are Twitter and Instagram and getting that message to everybody in the community throughout the US?
Yeah, I mean, for me, back then, the algorithms were nice and flat. So it was a very accessible way for me to just tell the story of growing up wild and getting people to be inspired by representations of people who look like me being out in nature, strong, beautiful, and free. And because we didn't see those images in the glossy pages of magazines that depict people in the outdoors back then. And I'm really proud to say that we use those mediums and we have been able to harness and nurture change over the last 11 years when we began using those digital platforms. And so being born in social media has really helped us actually in times like these right now, when people are looking to digital more and more for solutions and ideas and inspiration for how to get outside. So, in spite of what we're faced with in this COVID positive world we're living in, I'm so thankful that we have digital to be able to continue to connect with one another and still connect people to nature.
Friendly reminder now to make sure to follow Outdoor Afro on all of your social media platforms. Perfect segue for that little pitch there. Make sure you do so. Question number 10 now, your 10-pointer. By square acreage, which U.S. national park is the largest in the continental United States? Rue, what do you have?
It was tough for me, but I just decided to just take a chance that maybe you'd have the same answer for both sections of the quiz. And so I chose Yellowstone.
Ooh, again, you were so close. Yellowstone is number 2. So I didn't mean to trick you, but I kind of did. So Yellowstone was number 2. The first one is in your home state of California, and that is Death Valley. So Death Valley has,
I did not know that.
3.4 million square acres, and Yellowstone has 2.2 million square acres. Everglades is 3rd, so shout out to you guys that are in Florida. 3rd of the Everglades, and 4th the Grand Canyon. But number 10, Death Valley. You learn something new every day, but that's a 10-pointer. That was a tough one, so no worries there.
Well, I hope my national parks friends don't, rid me too hard for that, for not knowing that one.
And it's something I bet you'll never forget after this.
I won't.
And your wager question, within 50 feet, how tall is Hyperion, the world's tallest known living tree? So how tall is Hyperion, the world's tallest known living tree? You have that 50 feet of range there. First of all, what did you wager?
I wagered 5.
Okay. And what's your answer?
450.
415, you said?
450.
I think you wanted to say 415, though. That's what I heard. So 415 is in the range, Rue. It is in the range. So we're going to add those 5 points to your total. Man, this technology is really beneficial, I think. So your final score is 34 points. 34 points. The correct answer is 380 feet. So 380 feet is that tall tree, and it's growing. So the next time, if you rewatch this video in a year, it'll be a couple inches taller. But 380 feet right now. It's currently in a remote area of Redwood National and State Parks. The exact location is kept secret, so it doesn't get damaged. And so, Rue, you've been in the Redwoods very frequently. Just how tall are these trees?
Well, these trees are so tall that they rival the height of our nation's capital. And the thing that helps them grow very tall is how their root system underneath the surface is like knit together like this. And, I took a group of scouts, these young ladies out, the Radical Brownies, they're a fantastic group. And I asked them, what those trees reminded them of. And one of the girls, she said, it's like a family. They're like a family. And so, and the redwoods that we go out in California are third and more generations old from the original growth of redwoods, which were clear cut largely in service of the demand for housing around the time of the gold rush. And so those redwoods represent a resiliency in our ability to come back and grow strong and tall if we knit together at our roots.
Perfect. And I think that is a perfect moment now as we wrap up. Like I said, you have 34 points, the community and the family of the Redwoods. And of course, there's the community and family of Outdoor Afro. I know you have a lot of big things on the horizon. So please let us know at home, what is the next big thing? It's coming up in September for Outdoor Afro.
Yeah, well, we have a few things coming online, but the biggest thing that we have coming online for our organization is the Outdoor Afro Glamp In. We typically have a celebration every year that is an outdoor event that brings our community together. But this year we're doing a broadcast, and it's going to be on September 12th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. and it's Eastern, and everybody is welcome to come. There's no need to get on a plane, and you don't have to dress up in fancy clothes. And we're going to have some great entertainment and a lot of inspiration, and really a chance for people to get involved and help us to double down on Black joy in nature.
Perfect. So be sure to check that out, outdoorafro.com. Rue, thank you so much for being a good sport. We have one last thing to do, and that is giving everybody at home their virtual high fives for doing so well. There you go, the best prize of them all. But Rue, thank you so much again for joining us. Have a great night. You are awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a blast.
Bye, Rue. At this point, though, we have to end as we began, which of course is with Greg. And Greg, I have to know, how did you do? What were your scores?
Oh, the second half, I did pretty poorly.
No, did you wager too much? That's always a problem.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed that the breaststroke was the oldest. I figured it was dog paddle.
Oh yeah, that's a good guess. I guess I didn't specify that it was a human specific stroke, but I would still not count those points.
People do the dog paddle now.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems real basic to me, but what do I know? I'm not a swimming expert. So, but Lindsay, this has been wonderful. Thank you for christening our virtual Explorer Trivia Night. And thanks to both of the explorers Amy, and Rue. And thanks to all of you out there in virtual Twitter land who joined us this evening. We hope you can join us in a month when we've got Brian Scarry, the amazing award-winning photographer, who'll be one of the explorers next month. The other one is a secret. But you can follow us online at natgeo.org. And don't forget, these programs are successful only because of generous donations by you. Once again, thank you so much. Bye.
I said, baby, don't you know that you're fly?